Have you ever wondered why Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time, isn't exactly jumping on the Bitcoin bandwagon? Well, we are also thinking about it because many famous investors have jumped into the world of cryptocurrency. Is Bitcoin not Buffett's cup of tea? Let's find out why. Well, it seems like Bitcoin is making waves in the world of finance and investments with more and more people hopping on the bandwagon. But wait, who's lurking in the corner? Not quite convinced by the hype? Oh, it's none other than Buffett, the man with the investment Midas touch. Despite Bitcoin's growing popularity, he remains skeptical about its value as an investment. He is not quite sold on the idea of a digital asset that doesn't have any tangible value like a traditional company with buildings, equipments, and products. He is least attracted by Bitcoin, showing zero interest in it. But why?
Now, if you told me you owned all of the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it because what would I do with it? I have to sell it back to you one way or another. I mean, maybe I have the same people, but it isn't going to do anything.
During the annual shareholders meeting at Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett made it clear that he isn't a fan of Bitcoin. He doesn't think it's a productive asset because it doesn't produce anything physical like factories or property. Even though some people are starting to see Bitcoin in a more positive light, they still aren't interested in buying it. He's not sure if the price will go up or down in the future, but he's pretty sure that Bitcoin doesn't produce anything of value. He made a very different comment about it. He said that people have attached a sort of magic to Bitcoin, which has contributed to its popularity. Well, that's interesting, but we think he's not impressed by this magic. In other words, he's suspicious of the hype around Bitcoin and thinks that people may be overrating its potential. While some investors see Bitcoin as a valuable asset, he sees it as a dangerous investment that doesn't have any inherent value. Well, he's a free man. He can have his opinion. What is your view on this? He is a very successful investor who likes to invest in companies that he believes have a strong foundation and can generate predictable cash flows. You know, the value investing. Now, Bitcoin is a bit different from the types of companies that Buffett usually invests in. It's a digital asset that exists solely in the virtual world, and its value is determined by market demand. This means that its price can fluctuate widely based on the whims of investors. That is a big reason he has been doubtful about investing in Bitcoin. We all know that Bitcoin, being a digital asset, doesn't have any basic value, and its price is purely based on what people are willing to pay for it. However, that doesn't mean that he is entirely closed off to the idea of Bitcoin. He's quite interested in the underlying blockchain technology and its potential to transform the financial industry. He's just not convinced that Bitcoin itself is a stable or valuable investment opportunity. We can say that his distrust towards Bitcoin is not just a matter of personal preference or bias, but rather an indication of his investment philosophy and his desire to invest in companies that can fully understand and predict. Simple? Can you give a child a virtual candy? Nah, the same is the case with him. Buffett is famous for his persistent approach to investing. He likes to take his time and invest in companies that he believes will grow steadily over the long term. He's not one to get all worked up over short-term fluctuations in the stock market. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, well, let's just say it's a bit of a wild ride. The price of the Bitcoin can swing up and down like a roller coaster on steroids. In fact, it's common to see swings of 10% or more in a single day. That's enough to make even the most seasoned investors head spin. So it's not hard to see why he might be hesitant to invest in Bitcoin. It's just too darn unstable. It's like trying to guess the weather in Antarctica. One day it's sunny and the next day you're buried under 6 feet of snow. All jokes aside, Buffett's investment philosophy is all about long-term growth and stability. And with Bitcoin's extreme volatility, it may not be the best fit for his style of investing. There can be another big reason for his reluctance, and that is the lack of regulations. You know, he's all about protecting investors and making sure everyone is playing by the same rules. He thinks that government regulations is a good way to achieve this. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they're not like the regular investments. We all know. They don't operate within the same system and they're not regulated in the same way. This means that there's more potential for people to do sneaky things and take advantage of other investors. Here comes the gray area. So, he thinks it's important to have rules in place for everyone, whether you are investing in stocks, bonds, or Bitcoin. In this way, everyone gets a fair chance at making money and no one is getting ripped off. Think of it like playing a game. You want to make sure everything is following the same rules so that it's fair. That's what it is all about, making sure the game is fair for everyone. Besides all, he's all about investing in businesses that he understands really well. He likes to be able to explain a company's useful plus and how it makes money in simple terms. But when it comes to Bitcoin and blockchain technology, things get a little complicated. Blockchain is a new technology that's still being developed, and not everyone fully understands how it works. Though he has shown some good vibes about blockchain, but investing in Bitcoin is a big no for him. It's kinda like trying to explain how a computer works to your grandparents. It's not that they're not smart, it's just that the technology is new and complicated, and they may not have the same level of familiarity with it as someone who's grown up with it. What's your opinion on this? So, while he might be a genius when it comes to investing in traditional businesses, he may not feel as confident when it comes to newer technologies like Bitcoin. And you know what? That's okay. Each one of us has a specific area of expertise. It's important to remember that everyone has their own investment strategy, and what works for him might not work for someone else. And just because he doesn't like Bitcoin doesn't mean it's not a good investment for others. It's always important to do your own research and make informed investment decisions. That's all for now. Buffett's view on Bitcoin remain unchanged. He's not a fan. Despite its increasing popularity and acceptance in investment world, he remains skeptical of its value and capability as a long-term investment. Perhaps he likes his traditional investment style.